Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Ristic Study. No, wait, it's Ristic Tic Tac. Fresh breath is nice. We're kicking things off with a Shuffler special. We do have a factory already, along with a pair of 3 steps ahead. We have a needle as well to slow down an early enemy. Keep your pants on. They play out a life gain guy. That's a Starscape Cleric. It's not life gain, but gain and drain. And they get going right away. This turn will go with an instant needle to tap down their cleric. Let's limit the damages, then we can drop in the Bay on our next turn and make the needle into a synthesizer. They play out a Lunar Convocation, that's some card draw as well as a token generator. We'll play out the needle and make sure their cleric doesn't take a 2 spot off our life total. That's 3 mana. We'll go with our factory. We'll be set to start generating robot overlords on our very next turn. On top we have a land and a siphon. We do want the land, and if we go with the Bay next time, we likely will lose the siphon, so we'll keep everything as it is. They warp in a Halia. Might as well gain and drain as much as you can when you're stuck on 2 lands. Time for the Bay to come on down and make its presence felt. We'll get our first robot overlord, and then we can activate the Bay to get a second factory. On top we have a Jewel and a Restitching. We'll send the Jewel on down. The Restitching might be able to help us out. We can use it to blink their men out during a crucial turn. They play out another cleric. That's double the drain, but they're still on 2 lands, so there's not much else they can do. It's time for the Helm to get in there. We'll get another pair of robot overlords, then we can sacrifice the Jewel to get a needle. Let's tap down a cleric. We can block the Sanctifier, and with them at 2 mana, they're limited with what they can do. Let's get in there. We're 1 short of lethality, and if we had another mana, we'd be able to copy a robot overlord and force a block. They take the hits and drop down to 1. Damages, bro, damages. What are the chances they have a 3rd cleric? There it is. That's more drain on top of the 3 damages we'll take when they send it. That is GG's. The Convocation will take our last point. I was sure we'd have them, but they got that 3rd cleric. This is show T. Very show T indeed. Probably like 4'8". Don't get mad, Smalls. We get a shuffler special with a jewel and card draw plus an assortment of utility cards. It's not enough business. Mull. Then we get a shuffler special with a bay and a pair of defensive artifacts. This will eventually work out, though it's rather slow. Keep. We'll send the restitching on down. It needs more mana than we currently have. We draw a third land right away. That will let us play out the bay on schedule, and we can begin to populate our board with artifacts the turn after. They play out a burglar rat. It's not a tough choice as to what to toss. The meditation won't be able to help us for some time. We'll play out the relic. The card draw is what we're after. Besides, we should save the needle for something more threatening, and that draws us a factory. We can be in business sooner than having to fetch one out with the bay. They fire off a portal. They're trying to get a little too cute. Nice one, Show T. We'll drop the helm. We can use the bay to get one anyways. Three mana, and it's time to play out the factory. On top, we have a land and another synthesizer. We'll move the factory to the top. Let's go for double our production rates. Opponents love it when we slash prices. This will be a buy one, get one free fire sale. They fire off a stock up, probably to grab more card tossing antics, but they can't do anything about what we have on top of our deck. We'll go with the bay this turn instead of the factory. The bay will be able to keep us going even in the face of additional discard. They pass their turn without any plays. That stock up must not have been all that good. We'll use the bay to fetch out a helm. It'll help generate more robot overlords and make map tokens to boost their stats. We'll follow up with the needle. Their rat is not a threat, but we can eliminate it as a blocker and make sure delivery arrives right where we want it. Their face. Card draw is king, but if your deck is all card draw, you're a fool. They warp in the anti-casual. Everyone hates us filthy casuals. Let's see what they get when the anti-casual warps away. That's a Y'shtula rule. Maybe should have dropped in something that can block. We draw a 3 steps ahead. There's no reason to do anything here. Let's send it. We have lethality. They fire off a removal, but we drew our counter. They should have used that on their turn. Oopsie poopsie, bro. Also, GG's, extra robot overlord cheese. This is Cabo Wabo. No, wait, it's Cabo Taco. Eat it like a pie. We get a 3-lander this time with double 3 steps ahead and double bay. This is just not going to work. Mull. Then we get a better-looking 3-lander with a relic, a factory, and some of our duplication. Keep. We'll send the meditation on down. It's the least critical of our cards. We draw a relic and we'll play one out. That draws us a restitching. The great thing about it and the relic is we can blink our relics for card draw. They play out an authority. Blocking will be harder for us, but if they're planning on having more life than we can take down, they will be mistaken. On top, we have a pair of lands. We'll keep both. We'll need 4 mana to make a synthesizer copy and 5 mana to play out the helm and to be able to use it right away. We got nothing this turn. Your go, my bro. They have no plays, maybe they're bogged down with removals. It's our sign to make an instant synthesizer. Fire in the authority hole. On top, we have another land under the island. We'll ship one down, but we need that 5th land. We'll drop in the helm, and with the 2 mana we have left, we can make a copy of our token synthesizer. Let's send it. Delivery is always free. They hit our robot Overlord with a removal. We'll lose one of our AI, but get 3 map tokens. They're going to need a lot more removals. They brought an Ultima along just for us. Luckily, we have a restitching that we can use to save our factory outlet. We draw a bay, which is pretty good since we have a relic we can sacrifice to it and start the process all over again. On top, we have a meditation and a land. We'll ship the land. We've got more than enough now, but the meditation is going to let us grow out of control. Let's drop in our meditation, then we can activate the bay to fetch out a helm. Sure, our robot overlords enter tapped, but we'll have a full squad and they will be ready to go on our next turn. On top, we have a pair of needles. We'll keep one, but send the other on down. Then we have a 3 steps ahead under the needle. Let's move it to the top. We can use it to make a copy of the helm. Copy, copy. They fire off a split up, which hits only our men and not theirs. They make another pair of tokens, which is all well and good. We'll use the bay to get us a jewel. The extra mana from the jewel gives us a free activation of the bay. They activate a man land. That's most of their man spent already. Their next step is to pump their team.
And seize your destiny.
Did they think they had lethality? They've got no blockers up. Let's make a copy of one of our token synthesizers. More triggers than they have men. On top we have a relic and a land. Let's send the land on down. Then we have a meditation under the relic. Let's move it to the top. Some blockers would have been a good idea, bro. GG's, extra robot overlord cheese. We took their Ultima and still came roaring back to take them down. This is Arachno Champ. He's the cheese of all things Arachno. We get a shuffler special with double jewel, a factory, and a couple of utility cards. It's not the best hand, but it could work. Keep your pants on. They play out an authority. Those are always great against us, just like the last game. They play out a Sanctifier, life gain confirmed. We draw a Bay, and thanks to the Jewel, we can play it out and activate it the same turn. They play out an Angel, and that has moved up to being the target for our Needle. Not sure what the delay is about. Did they think we'd give up just because they played an Angel? Yeah, we'll tap that. We'll go with the Bay this turn. Let's fully use up all our abilities. On top, we have the Helm and Synthesizer combo we all know and love. We're a full go for robot overlords. Bro has checked out. Tapping down their Angel and making sure our plan comes together proved to be too much for them to handle. They're likely not coming back. Instead of the Helm, we'll go with another factory outlet. On top, we have a restitching under our factory. Let's ship it on down. GG's, no cheese needed. This is Steve lied. No, wait, it's Civ Liz with ED. Sorry to hear that, Liz. We get the mighty one-lander. It's so good everyone auto-keeps. Just kidding. Mull. Then we get a shuffler special with a good mix of cards. This will work. Keep. We'll send the restitching on down. We need the other cards more. They play out the coveted Trashtronaut on their very first turn. It doesn't get much better than that. They play out a Hazaret. It's indestructible, has haste, but can't attack until they reach max speed. They send in their Trashtronaut, and that will get them to speed 2. Halfway there, and then their hillbilly god can swing in. They pump their Trashtronaut even before they send it. That's odd, but opponents will opponent. We'll go ahead and play out our Needle and tap down their attacker. That's kind of gummed things up. We draw another Needle, but this turn we'll play out the Bay. Then we can turn our Needle into a factory. On top, we have another land and a Needle. We do like both, and we'll take them, and in that order. Can't get in for hits, bro? They fire off a raid and take out our Synthesizer and give their men a bit of pump. I guess we will need that factory we have in hand. They fire off a burst lightning to help them get closer to max speed. We'll play out the Relic this turn. It's the next contestant on Who Wants to Be a Synthesizer. On top, we have a jewel and a land. We'll ship both of them down. They play out a voice of victory, which will prevent us from playing anything out once it hits the table. Let's go ahead and play out our needle, and we can tap down their big beef. They follow up with a crawler. Not the best guy when you want to smash the opponent. It looks good, but only on paper. Let's drop in our second factory, and we'll get our first robot overlord. On top, we have a pair of lands. We'll keep one, but send the other on down. Next, we'll turn the needle into a helm, and we'll have mana to play out the needle in our hand. Let's tap down their voice. This leaves them the crawler and the trashtronaut as their only attackers. They play out a Hellkite for its full price. No warping in this monster. They're going full throttle. They send it in, but in a race to 0, they've left themselves open for a lethal counterattack. We'll turn our jewel into a needle. It's the last one we have, but it will do. Let's tap down the trashtronaut, and for good measure, we'll play out the bay. Then we'll get in there for damages. That's GG's extra robot overlord cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.